feel like I'm in Alice in Wonderland after that. Every American receives the same application of the law, and it does not matter what your last name is. So I guess that means if your last name is Perry, that subpoenas apply to you as well, lawful subpoenas. Now, I appreciate the gentleman from Pennsylvania's argument that the January 6th committee was not a duly constituted committee, and in fact, he and many others made that same argument to a number of courts of law. The courts are charged with interpreting our laws and whether a committee is a duly constituted committee and whether a subpoena is a duly constituted subpoena. And even though my friend from Pennsylvania may not like the fact that a neutral judge, multiple judges in fact, didn't agree with him, it still remains the law of the land, not what Mr. Perry says, not how I would interpret the January 6th committee, but how every single court of law interpreted it and said it was a validly constituted committee, and every single subpoena issued by that committee was a duly authorized lawful subpoena, no different than the subpoena to Hunter Biden.
Will the gentleman yield for a question?
No, unfortunately, sir, you did not yield to me, so I will not yield to you. The fact of the matter is that subpoenas should apply equally. And for my colleagues to actually claim that we on this side of the aisle are hypocritical because we will not vote to hold someone who has made every effort to comply in every way other than the specific means of providing the evidence is somehow should be held in contempt when 3 members of this committee refuse to comply in any way, shape, or form with a court-determined lawful subpoena is beyond me. Now, I find it interesting that my friend from Pennsylvania also chastises us for just supporting our guy. And I wonder how he would define supporting our guy. Would he define supporting our guy as trying to instigate a coup at the Department of Justice to install a lackey and remove the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General so that he could keep his guy in office even though he lost? Is that just supporting our guy? Because that's what Mr. Perry did. The reality is that we are here because, plain and simple, 2 reasons. Retribution for Donald Trump and the fact that the Republicans have no evidence. And you will hear them talk about evidence. You will hear them say, we have so much evidence, we have so much evidence. And we're going to get into some of these details as we go forward. But the reality is that you have been moving the goalposts the entire time because you cannot make any connection, notwithstanding all of your false statements, to the president. So instead, let's subpoena Hunter Biden. Because what we will expect is that he won't testify, or that he'll take the Fifth Amendment because he's under criminal indictment. And then we get to say, aha, all of our specious allegations must be true because if they weren't, he would come here and testify. Well, he called your bluff, and now you're scrambling.
Will the gentleman yield to a question?
No, I will not. And now you're scrambling.
You sure?
Now you are desperate to find anything to divert attention away from your abject lack of evidence connecting President Biden to any business venture of Hunter Biden's, to any wrongdoing. So we're going to hold us here on a contempt hearing because you don't want to see him testify in public. You just want to be able to filter his testimony in closed-door testimony as you have been doing this entire Congress.
Will the gentleman yield?
I will yield to my ranking member. Thank you.
Thank you. The District Court for the District of Columbia, Judge Kelly, obliterated the argument that
Time's expired. Chair
that the gentleman
recognizes
from Pennsylvania made.
Mr. Biggs for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the risk of taking the bait, which is all this is, it's laying a little bait and might be just too attractive